Macca's Burgers ever. Welcome back.
Hey.
Now, there is a monster in the room. He steals phone chargers. He doesn't know how zippers work. His name is Bryce Paul. I just want to know, because Rusty,
Yes.
you informed Bryce of something today, that he... How old are you?
How old are you? Bryce, how old are you?
Oh, 25. Sorry,
25.
I wasn't listening.
In 25
We're
years
so
of life,
Monster.
is a thing that he's never known. What was that?
I'll try and get this as accurate as possible. Bryce, you may have to correct one detail here, but I was ironing my shirt. Bryce comes in and he shows me his fly. He's like, I've got
As
to put
he's wont to do, I will say.
as you're doing. He's like, I put a key ring, I believe it is, like
Yeah.
where the zipper goes to
Yeah.
keep it in place.
To
'Cause
attach
it
to the
always,
button.
yeah.
Through the eye of the like zipper to then hook up onto the button
So he's
of
watched
the
a,
jeans.
he's watched a shitty Facebook tutorial somewhere where
Yeah.
like they have the DIYs. Like if this is broken, this is how you
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah, it didn't cost me anything.
Here's 15 uses for the eraser on the back of a pencil.
Exactly.
So he's done it. It works at that point, right?
Yep.
And I was like, you do know that if you point the zipper downwards, it locks, right? And he had no idea. I've never seen
That is-
someone so shocked.
I am absolutely not surprised if everybody in chat supports me on this one, because who knows that? Nobody knows that. That is not common knowledge.
I actually want to say,
Please.
you guys clickbaited this segment so much because you're like, Bryce doesn't know how zippers work. And I'm sitting there going, they go up and down. But no, it's actually just a little thing of it.
He does not know. Like, I don't know a single person who
zips
zips
up
up their
their fly
pants
and
and
then leaves
leaves
it
it
pointing
at the top.
up.
Pointing up.
Like it did anything.
If you fell over, it could stab you in the stomach. Like, that is just so counterintuitive. Like, you zip up, you fold down. You zip up, you fold down. Bryce, you zip up, you fold
No,
down.
I've just been
and
literally
snap.
for my entire life just zipping up, doing the button, doing my belt, and going about it. And for these black jeans, for the past like month, I've just been walking around and my fly is just constantly coming undone. It's been a big sore point in my life. It's been a difficult time, to say the least. And I fixed it with my DIY thing, only to find out that zippers lock. Who knows that zippers lock?
Ever since you left
Nobody.
Gravitas, your life has gone downhill. That was a bad career move, apparently. So bizarre. Did you know that women's jeans often have the zipper, like, the other way around?
Yeah, do you know why? And they button the other way?
Yeah.
What,
I don't know why. I know they button the
Oh,
other
yeah,
way.
I think it's like a relic of like the past where like women would get dressed for them in like corset era, like Victorian, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So the person who was doing the buttons,
Yeah, right.
it was the
Would
same
do it
way
in the
for
same way
them.
as they would do their own.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah, thanks,
there you
Reddit.
go.
So,
yeah.
there's two things about that. So they always, like this always gets brought up because I think that is the correct one. And then everyone always says that males, when they used to duel people, would undo their buttons with their left hand and draw their sword with their right hand.
Yep. That's how I
And that's
do
the way it would work.
Yeah.
So like there's certainly two schools
how I
of thoughts
pee.
about
Yeah,
that
if you're
one.
left-handed, you're a freak. That's
Yeah,
all we're saying.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, no, there were just no left-handed people back then because you would get it beaten out of you.
Yeah.
You guys are out of control.
I didn't hear
Are
what
we
was
are we
said.
continuing the shenanigans about Bryce?
Yes, please
No,
go ahead.
Because the other thing is like for those that don't know,
That was really good.
Bryce and I we come into the studio
Oh,
today and my phone is on 4%.
Yep.
And Bryce's phone is on 9%. And he just takes my charger. Because he's left his charger.
Oh,
And-
is that what happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And, shut up for a second. And the reason his phone is dead
Yeah.
isn't because he's been using it all day.
No, it's not
It's
because
he
it's popular.
doesn't charge it at night.
You're insane.
And he
If yours
sleeps
is on
with headphones
4%,
in.
how do you charge yours at night?
I was up at 7 a.m. and I've been playing auto whatever we're supposed to call it from now on.
Auto
all
battlers.
day. Auto battlers.
Okay.
I've been playing auto battlers.
you don't charge your phone at night?
No.
Why?
He's a monster, that's why.
First of all, last night I slept on a couch. There you have it. So it doesn't have a power
You
box
need
right
to
next
go back to
it.
Gravitas, man.
But no, I'm always using my phone. And then like I just fall asleep. And I've
with
actually
his phone on his face.
Yeah, no. I've built the habit. Unconscious me is very trainable.
Yeah.
I'm so good at this.
Good
I
tip.
Conscious him, not at
I
all.
fall asleep. I fall asleep with like AirPods in or something, and like every night. And I'm
something.
like,
Weird flex,
Actually,
AirPods
yeah,
in.
AirPods. Yeah, hello. And I fall asleep watching something, and then I wake up in the morning, and my phone is like, it hears me sleeping, like, it's delicious sleep.
Classic.
And like I have during the night unconsciously sleeping Bryce has taken my AirPods out.
What?
Put them
Put them in
underneath
the
my
case.
pillow.
What?
No, not in the case. But I wake up every morning, my phone, if this is my pillow
my
that my
God.
head is on,
Yes.
my phone is slid under here, I almost threw that off the desk, and my AirPods are slid onto the other side.
So you wake up in the morning, everything in your house has a flat battery except your head, which is filled with battery radiation.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
Chernobyl
I want to
hooked me
point
up.
out that Bryce has described what happens when this goes correct. When this goes incorrectly, we are scrambling around our hotel floor looking for his left AirPod, trying to get to planes. So, like, there is
thrown
a
in his
right way
sleep.
to do this and a very wrong way, and I have
Also,
seen them both in
this is
practice.
incredible.
I need to add some extremely necessary context to Jake's garbage story. First of all, I took his charger because he wasn't using it. It sits like over there. He's sitting over there. He's on the couch complaining about his battery that's plugged in Narnia, and I sat down. I sat down next to it and was like, "If you want it, you can use it, but I'll plug in." Right?
Yeah.
And that's semi-reasonable. That's friendship right there. And he's just.
He gave me a phone without a charger. They complained to me that my charger wasn't a fast charger.
What was
I'm
the start of
sorry,
that
Bryce.
sentence? He gave me a phone. Oh, my bad, I guess. God, you ungrateful swine.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Okay, so this is definitely going to be a new OPL segment,
yeah.
which is basically like the airing of grievances, like where we just get to
Are
pick
we
a
actually
Saturday
going to do that?
I think we absolutely should
Oh
do
my
that.
goodness.
We'll save it for another week, but we absolutely will do that. I also want to know how you guys feel about zippers. There will be a straw poll in the chat any second now. Zipper up or zipper down, like the little...
Can there be a who cares option for that as well?
No, because you can't have it sticking out in the middle. You do one or the other.
It's
No,
right
you
or
just-
wrong. There's
whatever
no
happens,
unbiased.
Subconsciously, you do it, Benji.
Leave it to the gods. Just wherever it ends up, it ends up.
You are exactly the reason the world politically is where it's at right now.
That's fair.
Please let us know, because we need these big questions answered. All right. Something else that I'm excited about, beyond the airing of grievances, is the new game mode coming to League of Legends. Teamfight Tactics.
TFT.
Another
TFT.
auto battler.
An auto battler. I don't even know what an auto battler is. No, but this should be fun. Because I know
Because the three of us.
that I'm obsessed.
Woof.
And I know that you're obsessed.
Woof.
And I know that he is more obsessed than both of us.
Woof.
I also know that a gremlin on the desk has never touched this kind of game mode.
Too busy playing with his fly like some sort of pervert.
It's this one.
DIY flying.
But this should be really cool. So I also like that there's some changes, right? So the board is
To
more
the
shallow
established genre.
and it is much wider.
So I haven't seen
play a lot
anything
of
for
Beast
reference.
Warriors.
Yep.
And sometimes you run out of a crossways to be able to line your warriors up as you charge like the Rohirrim did out of Helm's Deep.
Please.
As
And
you
I
do.
think that, this is a good change for a player like me.
So, for those of you who don't know about the auto battler genre, basically you get a selection. There's like a chessboard style thing. You get a selection of champions, shown to you in a shop format, and it's a shared pool between the other 8 people that you're playing against. You buy champions. Champions of who are exactly the same can be combined. When you get 3 of them, you can combine them into a more powerful one. You play these onto the board, and then your army fights another player's army. You have no control
Yeah.
over the fight,
It's auto.
and it just sort of like auto resolves.
Exactly.
and
So
then
it's
you
an
go into
automated
another
game
purchasing.
that's played on a chess-like board, hence the name Auto Battler. So what? And the other cool thing is everything has synergies, right?
Yep.
So like if you have 2 or more cavemen, you might get more health, or if you have like more hunters, they get more damage
Exactly.
on the hunters. And strategically, depending on what Rusty is playing, if he's a dirty mage player, then I want to get me some Naga or something like that to be able to get some magic resistance. He's stripping away magic resistance, and there's 8 players, and you randomly draw who you play, which I know is a big gripe of yours. Maybe it will be different in the League of Legends one. Maybe it will be more rotational, but certainly addictive, I would say.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm super pumped. Because I missed the battle royale thing.
I dodged
I just
the
was.
battle
Yeah, I mean,
royale.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
conscious.
shooters aren't massively my scene. So as everyone was just getting obsessed, and this great situation where you've got multiple companies all making their take on this thing, so a rising tide lifts all boats sort of situation. We're now doing that for a genre that I love, which is like tactical. It's almost like a card game.
It's Final
really.
Fantasy
Like,
Tactics. If people didn't play that,
Yeah.
that just automated through. Like if you got to pre-pick your moves that you were going to
So
make.
my comparison is like Harry Potter chess, but you choose the
Like
pieces.
from the movie?
Yeah.
Or did I miss
The movie.
a game? Yeah,
The
yeah,
book
yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
and the book. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, I meant like, was there actually Harry Potter chess and I didn't know about
I
it?
don't-
But
I
yes,
mean,
yeah. You
maybe
know how
one of them.
like idiots play Quidditch in real life? I'm sure some of you are watching.
The dudes on brooms. Yeah, I've seen it,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
like running around with. Anyway, it's very strange.
They're
so
flying,
thankfully,
Nick, they're
thankfully
flying.
that's not what Riot is putting out. Bryce, you ever played one of these?
No.
You gonna?
I got on the Battle Royale train, and I haven't got off.
And he never got off.
Yeah.
Arriving at the station, Bryce. It's
played
time
the
to
good
get off the
ones,
train.
By the way, next grievance, Bryce refuses to play games that his friends want to play.
It's not the airing of grievances segment. We need to save this. But
Bryce?
yes, I know it's very annoying.
That's not odd.
That's not on Bryce.
Bad luck. Oh, can you even play auto battle? No, you can play auto battlers with each other.
Yep.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would know.
We could
No, I don't.
pre-populate
I-
a
that's why
lobby
I'm asking
right
the
now if we
question.
wanted to. We don't even have to cast this next game. Us 5 could go jump in an auto battle lobby.
We could.
I thought it wasn't released yet.
No, it's not. It's coming in hot though.
Yeah,
It's coming
okay.
very soon.
My teamfight tactics
Yep.
have always been good, so I know I'm going to be a bloody,
Yeah, I remember
bloody
that Flash
star.
Pulverized that won
Yeah.
a tournament.
Something that I do like about the about Teamfight Tactics, as opposed to others in the genre, is that I don't know how regularly it comes up, but you get shown a shop at some point where you can pick a champion in a reverse snake
The carousel.
draft style kind of thing. Yeah, and so you go, well, if you're losing, you get first dibs on this shared pool, and so can pick the thing that synergizes.
So it's like
best.
sports drafting works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
I think it's like 8 or 9 or 10 champions that spin around, and then you run out, and if you're last, you get a time head start, and
Yeah.
then each champion has an item, and you grab what you want, and then everyone else gets annoyed because they also wanted the good stuff, and it's
neat.
super fun and really annoying.
Yeah,
It's
and the thing
cool-
is like, and correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't played this one, but Benji has definitely. Like, it's to make up for the catch-up mechanic, which
Yeah.
is done by streaks through a couple of other auto battlers.
Yeah.
Which leads to open fording, which is like the worst mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
if there is one bad mechanic in all of these games, it is open fording, which hopefully this now resolves that.
Go on. The reverse is the catch-up mechanic, and then that lost streak stuff is.
What is open forwarding?
So open fording is like because you get more money if you are consistently losing. So you just don't field units on the board. You deliberately
oh,
lose.
you open mid.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
open
and so
your
you,
board.
and you just stack your base with like
Open
all the powerful
boarding.
stuff.
I thought you were saying open forward-ing. Okay,
No,
okay, that makes
open-
sense.
Forwarding.
Don't worry about it.
It's
Angry
fine.
emails forwarded. It's
He can't hear. He's got half a battery in his head.
half a lot.
So I'm very excited about
airport.
this. I mean, this is where I could become some sort of like League of Legends adjacent pro.
Nick plays League Teamfight Tactics.
MPL,
If you will.
TFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, in some ways, is this not what the Nick Plays League is really set up for?
It was world domination is still the end goal.
Ultimately, but I'll take this leading up until that. So we'll get more information drip fed apparently to us as we go over the next coming days, and then it's coming in very, very hot. So I'm excited to play. All right. Speaking of the MPL, we're going to be doing that later on. So make sure you come and hang out. We are going to be playing with viewers. You may get your chance to play against arguably the best team on the server.
I'd say of all time.
Yeah, even when we do need to run and catch a flight, we're still pretty good, aren't we? Aren't we? I mean, we lost that one, but I blame Jake. So please come hang out after the broadcast.
It was Skimmy's fault.
It was Kimmy's fault.
That's
And
why he's not here this
he's
week.
back in the mother country. Next game, Avant versus Legacy. Rusty, I'm going to say this would have been a strange week for Avant to prepare.
Yeah, you could say that. And I think one of the biggest reasons for that is as of tomorrow, all of the players are eligible to play again. So when you think about practice this week, you could imagine it's a little bit weird to have to chop and change who's playing, when are they playing, what does it look like to get practice time for this week's games.
Did you actually do that? I'm calling you didn't do that. I'm calling you played main lineup the whole time.
Sorry, before we go any further, who do I play tomorrow?
Us, which is why I'm real salty. Like, how many RP stipends do I have to donate back to Riot before they extend that to a 4-match ban?
No
And I
comment.
get to be able to play without those two players.
All I'm saying is I'm not saying anything because Spawn is next to me.
Alrighty, well, it is time for Avant versus Legacy. I'm excited to see how this turns out because it could be the last time we see some of these players in the OPL this split.
I am Groot.
Could.
I am Groot. And up against Legacy, I am Groot for the win. I'm very much now on
Groot
board
fight
with the
train.
Legacy
Teenage Groot.
Groot train. Very excited for this. So let's throw to the McDonald's Champ Select and get into game number 2.
Thank you, Nick Boy. Bryce, you're still here. We haven't seen you in like a minute, so welcome back. Well, it's been about a minute. Yeah. This is actually an interesting game for me. On paper, thought this would be, okay, it should be a good game. Avant looked pretty solid. But with the lineup change, like they mentioned, this could go anywhere.
Yeah, like I actually genuinely don't know what to expect from AV. Obviously, they're sitting at 1-1. Roster is in a little bit of a shambles, and they kind of mentioned that they can get back onto the board here tomorrow, but is that going to be the case? Time will tell. But I feel like the one guy that is actually missing on your screen right now, Isles, was a big highlight for me in the first week. Yes, I think Shock played well, Sybil played well, Chippies, all of that, but you didn't expect Isles to play well, which is what was surprising. He came in, had an absolute banger performance, I think, on loan from Mammoth Academy in the OCS, and interested to see how he does stack up against Legacy here today, who honestly had a little bit of a rough game starting off this season with the Direwolves. Not a lot happened, was a bit of a slow one there, but able to pick up a victory versus Order, so a pretty even game, I think, nonetheless.
Yeah, I think one thing that the casters was saying is this might be the last time you see these two players. And by those two players, they're referring to Isles and Sybil, who are not part of the regular starting roster. But the thing about these two is this is a really good, especially for Isles, who we have not seen on stage as much. This is a great experience for him, and it's a great resume to put together. Like, hey, I didn't play a Split of the OPL yet, but I have played, these 3 games, and we went 1-2, and you can see my performance here.
Yeah, certainly is the case. Getting into draft already, super like Legacy's Sejuani ban. First cat out the bag, and Sybil's not going to get his hands on that one. You think about Jarvan, Camille, Xin Zhao, all of these guys gank to gank, red buff to lanes, and he was doing that on the Sacagawea with the Sejuani. So he went red buff to mid to top against Gravitas. All of those things worked. You can see big grin on his face as he does get targeted away. So Legacy very happy to take that one off the table.
That grin tells me a lot. It tells me that, like, you get target banned, it's like a bit of respect. Like, hey, we fear you on this. We're going to take it off the board. But the fact he's grinning tells me that it probably hasn't hurt him too much.
Oh, I mean, when is Sybil not grinning? He is potentially the nicest person in the OPL. Definitely up there. Should be a great guy.
Yeah, let's roll through these bands quickly, actually, while we're going. It is Xayah, Aurelia, Aatrox for the Avant lineup, getting taken off the board against Legacy. So a bit of target there to the top lane, but also at Praedyth. And on the Legacy side, Sejuani, Silas, and Camille. Interesting bands there.
Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff. Akali left open, Yuumi left open. Sona's going to be the first pick, and do we see that as a support from Isles? Do we see it in the bottom lane from whoever the hell is going to play bottom lane this game? Could be Miro, could be Shock.
Yeah.
I expect with the Sona locked in, it will be Shock, and we have been seeing kind of a resurgence of Sona as an AD carry. We saw a bunch of mages down there recently, and during the Sona Taric period, obviously very strong, but she can just kind of be played with things other than the Taric as well, so quite versatile here.
Yep, it is Siva locked in for well, not for Papyrus, most likely for Praedyth, but by Papyrus on the Legacy side as they spin around to their second pick. Contrary to last game where we saw all the solo lanes get picked early, it looks like we're going to the bot lane early here, Bryce.
Yeah, and do they just lock in the Yuumi to pair that one? We saw them play this exact matchup last week. I think it was into Order. They played the Siva, they played the Yuumi, but no, they're actually going to deny the combo there, so we're only 3 picks into this draft, with both of these teams kind of trading strength across the board. There's a lot of thought going into this one already. Yeah,
the Taric takeaway to stop that Sona Taric lane is interesting. It makes me wonder if, like, obviously it's a good deny. That's probably the primary reason for taking it, but, like, are they comfortable with the matchup? Have they practiced it? How good is Crazy on that support? Or is it a, hey, mate, good luck, we're going to throw you under the bus a little bit here and make you play something you're not really comfortable with?
Yeah, because Taric is actually very rarely just, I mean, a good champion in his own right.
Yeah.
Right? He gets played with something. When Funnel was around, he was getting played. He gets played with Sona Taric, but kind of struggles to find his place in the meta just in isolation. I will say, though, when you put him with a Siva comp, makes a lot of sense. If you can get a backline dive threat, something like the Aurelia, maybe the Hecarim, stuff like that, and you can pair the Taric ulti onto your back and front line at the same time, Akali, that rings a bell. And especially when Siva's on the hunt, grants you the move speed, he can be incredibly useful here.
There's going to be an invulnerable, speedy Akali, perhaps diving the backside as we wait for Chaz to lock it in. On the flip side, Avant have locked in Galio and Elise. Elise, actually, when I think of Sybil and junglers, Elise does sort of come into my head as something he does play often.
Yeah, Sybil and Guts actually share a very similar champion pool, right? You think of Sybil and Guts, and it's like Zach Elise straight off the bat, right? And
Sejuani for Sybil, and yeah, Guts I've seen play a few other things as well, but yeah.
Going to take that off the rank. I expect the bottom lane has been all but locked in here from AV. Sona and Galio going down there, but this is now an Elise lock-in. Sejuani already taken, and AV have the option to ban away 2 junglers here.
Yep, we'll see what they decide to target down. So on the Avant side, we're looking at targets against their solo laners most likely.
Well, I just think jungle. I straight up think they take the Olaf away. Maybe they take the Zac away from Guts. Maybe the Rek'Sai, stuff like that. There's Yeah.
Olaf off the board. Jace off the board here from Legacy. Doesn't want Chippy's playing that. He's played a lot of Jace in his years in the OPL, and he is one of the players that I do fear most when watching him, or appreciate him most, actually, because I'm a bit of a Jace fan.
Jace one trick, right? Yeah.
I am. Oh, one trick. I play a lot of Jace. He's a very fun champion. Killing someone a screen away is the most satisfying thing in League of Legends to me.
Do the other champions you play live up to that name? Are you like a Xerath guy?
Not really. I play like Jarvan and stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah, jungle champions. Fiora knocked off the board there. Another solo laner targeted by Legacy. So Chippy's getting his champion pool pinched a little bit, but he's got options here.
Yeah, certainly does, and it's interesting that they do go for the Nico ban, so potentially kind of trying to buy space for Chippy's pick here. I expect the top lane for Paprise. Played Pyke last week. Is going to be the last pick here for Legacy, and AV look at that and like, yes, we haven't picked either solo lane, and one of us is being, will be counter-picked here, and I say that, not a counter-pick. Guts is going to hold on to the pick for himself, and that's a Pyke top for Paprise once again.
That's jungle priority as well, yeah. Top lane for Paprise, so maybe worried about getting pinched away here a little by Chippies, so maybe something there they want to deny. But giving him the choice of matchup after hitting him twice in the second phase, just let him to Nah.
Yeah.
That's a matchup. Have you seen this one?
Oh,
Nah, sorry, that's Kled, yeah.
Because this is interesting. This is deep in Chippy's pool. You look at the top lane bans. That would be
It's Aurelia, Aatrox.
Okay. Yeah, like Aurelia, Aatrox, like Olaf counts, I guess, for Chippies.
Camille's down,
Yeah.
Silas is down. There's a lot hitting the Chippy's pool there,
Yeah,
actually.
there is a ton. It's Renekton, if it does get locked in, I assume will be in the hands of probably Miru in the mid lane.
Okay.
I've seen Shock play a bit of Sona in his time, and I would expect him to be piloting that one in the bottom side. But this is, once again, going to be week 2 and back-to-back games here of this style of play with the melee bruisers in solo lanes.
Okay. The last pick here, it is a jungler. Would you go something aggressive here or something farmy?
You kind of have options. I look at Guts and I'm like, maybe that, like, he doesn't really have a lot of aggressive options left up on available. Really isn't a Lee Sin player, and that springs to mind as kind of the only good one left.
Yeah,
is a volatile matchup to lock yourself into, but yeah, kind of what's a front line for this composition they've put together? A bunch of assassins. You need the resets for Pyke, so Jarvan dashing in with a Taric ulti and an Akali as a dive buddy.
Yeah.
Certainly does make a lot of sense here for Legacy.
Well, as we look at the McDonald's champion select, we can see the teams locked in here. Chippies versus Papyrus and tops Renekton Pyke. I think that'll be interesting. And the mid lane here, we're thinking Kled versus Akali. These are really unique matchups. Like, I don't see these every day, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how this game goes.
Yeah, a little bit more surprising there. The Renekton in the hands of Chippies. They can change now. No locked in place.
They can move Chippies to the mid lane, though.
Yeah,
they could look that kind of swap there.
Yeah, Miro won't have TP, though, so I expect this is going to be what we see. Shock Isles in
Shock
the
has
bottom
got
side
TP.
once again. Yeah, this is going to be 80 carry Sona, Galio in the bottom lane, Kled into Akali in the mid. I guess it makes sense, right? You can latch onto the Akali, even if she does try and go into Shroud. If you're in melee range, you get the attack speed buff, and Akali does kind of have to play in that sort of realm, so interesting matchups once again, and all the solo laners. We have a fairly standard bottom side that is going to be the more defensive of the two.
This is a very different matchup to our last game, and I'm actually very excited to see how this one plays out. Obviously, we do have the lanes on the screen there. We expect them to change up as this game starts.
Yep.
We're watching where they run out of the base. Joining us here to help us run us through this this draft, we've got Denian. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Now, your team here have drafted, I think, a pretty standard great comp, but the Avant team have kind of gone a little bit off center, do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I was a bit surprised by almost everything they did.
Yeah, okay.
The bans that they came in, I thought were very heavy on Chippy's champions, like the sort of things I thought they'd want to rely on going into this series with, you know, the off rolls and subs. So I was a bit surprised to see those bans coming out. I was also surprised to see Sona, because I didn't figure them for a Sona type of team.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep an eye on this, though, because we've got a 5-stack here by your boys. Denny in the top side here. Looks like we do have Sybil that has got an eye on that lead, so I'll be surprised if something big happens here. But tell me more. Preparing against a team like this, where you kind of, you know it's not their starting roster, they're using subs. Does that help you prep, or does it hurt it in that you're missing a lot of information?
Like with a standard roster, you know kind of what their trends are and what their goals are as a team. Like I think most teams that look at Legacy know, generally speaking, what we want to accomplish and how we want to play for the most part. Sometimes we do things drastically different occasionally, but for the most part, we have a clear identity. When you change out members, it does become a wild ride, right? But at least we got to saw them. We got to see them play last week, so we got a bit of an inkling into how they want to play with those sort of off-world champ players, rather.
Yeah, and you mentioned your goals, right? I feel like Legacy, this is a very stable roster. Like over the course of Split 1 to Split 2, same coach, same 5 players. You guys really have been just in for the long haul in terms of growth. Can you speak to anything that has like changed in between the 2 splits, or is it really just kind of sticking to the plan you set in place at the start of the year?
For me, it's still sticking to the plan. I think for the players' perspective or their growth, a lot of the times I find that when I get taught something or someone tries to teach me something, for like a while, for me at least, I understand it, but it doesn't fully make sense yet. And when I take a break away from that and come back, that's when I feel
really
like a genius.
Itself?
Yeah, like everything's just there. It's just natural to me now. And I feel like for the players that this has really started to hit them, where all the things we were talking about, they took a break, they came back, and now they're just a lot smarter and a lot more capable of adapting in the games themselves as well.
And is that like, maybe you don't want to answer this question, but this is now double pike games from Pap Rise. We didn't really see that in first split. It is like a little bit of the meta, but you do say like they're now coming back and they have cemented the fundamentals. Is this a split for Legacy where you guys are going to try more varied things?
We definitely want to. So in the first split, it was trying to stick a bit more normal, still within like the like play styles of the players themselves, and get to understanding the basis of the game from like a normal standard play style sort of perspective. But now that they understand that normal baseline, I would like them to start approaching the games in a way that suits them and their champions and how we think that they could evolve like their own individual meta within the region.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a little bit of a fight here, top lane in a second, but good luck in this game.
Thank you very much.
Cool. I just want to draw attention here. We've got Civil in this brush. Pap Rise here. He's going to pay respect and dive out. I was watching that one very closely, Bryce.
Yeah, this is super rough territory for Pap Rise. I was interested with the jungle pathing that started this one off. Guts, yes, did get the 3 buff. He took away the blue buff of Civil's Elise, bopped over the wall and was like, oh, where'd that go? But immediately walks topside and the wave shoving in. Not too sure what happened in the early levels, but Pap Rise is 100% miserable right now. This is almost 3 or 4 waves that have just crashed into his turret. And Guts is just doing the Raptors. He's not even walking top to help out his top laner right now. Straight up farming, and that's a little bit of a roughie. You know, if he's taking the enemy Raptors and he's looked like, I'm on the opposite side of the map, look, I cannot get there in any sort of time frame, but yeah, this is all on his lonesome in the top lane is the Pyke.
Oh my god, he's just dead first blood. That wasn't even funny. Like, he got denied so many waves. 31 CS to 5. And Guts is back.
Yeah, that is just disgusting there. He doesn't really want to TP back to the lane. The redive is there, but given Sybil's mana pool fairly low, won't be able to.
We can't miss that much more CS though. Like,
they're actually going to go for it.
If they don't, this is so disastrous. If Pap Rise dies, he is in trouble. CC, he might get a lease, flash away. He does dive after him. Chippy's trying to follow up here. How did that hit? Through the minions, he's dead. Second kill. Oh my god, Pap Rise is so out of this game.
And Sybil back into the OPL and styling on Pap Rise. Hits him with a cocoon smite through the minions. Miro's dead.
1v1 mid lane here. Miro, Chaz gets one back, but Avant here. Ooh,
like this is silver linings, right? Yes, they get the kill on the mid lane, Chaz, but if you look at the deficit that is already sustained, no flash, no TP, he's farmed 1 creep less than a single wave.
The Taric has more CS than the Pyke does in this game. Consider that. That's the support.
This just straight up hurts. This is disgusting.
Watch this stun.
Yeah, of course, starts this one off by getting hooked into turret.
He smited it!
Smite cocoon through the creeps. He did this like 2-3 years ago versus Ray did. Diving bottom lane, cocoon predicts an E flash out of Ezreal. Now 2019 walks topside, smite cocoon, hits a Pyke. This is disastrous territory. Pyke is that champion, right? You want the Mobies, you want the Tiamat, you want to push and leave your lane. He is so far from getting to those breakpoints. Chippy's 5 minutes in already having Tiamat. This is a Pyke that's just going to be desperately tied to his turret for a very, very long time to come.
Yeah, Chippy's has full control up there. If Sybil pays more attention here,
and he is.
Do you even need to? That's this point here. He's rotating up. There is vision, so you'll see it coming. But seeing it after that first gank, level 3 versus level 5, I mean, you can't even stick around there. You're running away.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see, like, there is a jungle CS deficit. Sybil has spent so much time top lane, and Guts is now actually, after taking away a couple of camps, going to opt in for the Dragon. Mountain, yes, is useful, but in 2019, plating on turrets, Chippy's just getting Complete control gifted to him on the top side here. The synergy between these two has been super clutch so far. 6 minutes in, 2 plates down, 9 CS on the pipe.
The thing is, right, look at the scoreboard right now. You got about 1,500 gold lead at 6 minutes, which is huge. I bet you all of that is on Renekton.
Oh, 100%. Like,
in fact, they might have been losing other lanes, and
you
it's like
take
2,000
the
ahead.
starting items in the Corrupting of the Doran's Blade. Yes, call it equal. Longsword and cloth armor, call it equal. He just straight up has a Tiamat over his opponent right now. That's an ulti in the mid lane, though.
Mid lane.
Chaz under fire.
He does dive in the side lane. Miru, obviously, on Kled can go one direction. You can see the arrow on the ground. They're pointing that way. Just sidesteps.
Yeah, and the map is just strictly split straight down the middle. Sybil playing only towards that top side and Guts only towards that bottom side. Shock and Isles, though. Sona and Galio having a much better time underneath their turret, kind of just farming up waves as they come.
Yep.
And actually helping out his mid lane to push this one in. You can see they immediately walk topside once again.
Pike is
Paprise.
caught again. Sybil.
Oh,
He's
he
going to
gets a
come
flank.
round. Saw him in the jungle there, Paprise. He sees him, and he's been caught out. He's going to die again. He's going to run back to lane. He's got no TP. That's even further behind he's going to be.
And this is every solo queue top laner's nightmare. Like, the jungler looks at you and is like, man, you're screwed. I cannot help you. Nobody going topside is going to help out Paprise so far, and this is just a monstrous advantage. Very nicely played from AV, actually denying Guts the golems as well, forcing him off. He gets the big one, but this top turret is basically dead.
So here's the thing, right? If you're Guts right now, you got two options, in my opinion. And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not the best player. You either sit top and babysit like hell,
Yeah.
or you need to be getting leads in other lanes.
Yeah. And other lanes is the option, right? They need to be like trying to pressure off bot, looking for dives. It's not a level 6 Taric yet, so they don't have the invulnerability. And in all honesty, Sona Galio is a pretty hard 2v2 to dive. Galio is kind of the new age Alistar, where you look at him and it's like, if we don't literally one-shot somebody and get out, it's the combo, it's the CC, the taunt is there, and makes it very difficult here. So Legacy don't have a lot of recourse on the other side of the map, and you can see just top turret is straight up sacked. Paprise is roaming with brown bags and no ulti right now.
Well, he's looking for that. If he can get low enough, he can hit the ulti and maybe get out. If he gets a kill, he could be good.
Oh,
Guts
he
is
gets
caught
it.
out. Paprise has been spotted on the left here. So Chippy's in the top lane. Might opt to push here. Paprise now backing. Oh, he's missing so much CS again.
Oh, he is a quarter of the farm of his lane opponent. Chippy's going to finally break that top turret, I expect. First brick, solo gold, and 5 plates.
610 gold from that one tower.
He has
What's his lead?
700, like,
So
what is
3,500
that?
gold
He
lead.
almost has 1,000 gold more in the bank than Paprise has total.
He's got, he does have 2,600. Paprise has
that's my
1,700.
point.
Yeah.
Like, 1,000 more than he is worth.
My God.
That is-
That's like 3 times his gold worth.
Okay, this game,
How do you play this from a Paprise perspective?
I
'Cause
mean-
everyone's had these games, and
Yeah.
like I know people in my game sometimes just go 0-10 from here. How do you play this
you
properly?
do nothing. You genuinely do nothing for 30 minutes. Pike, maybe silver linings. Okay, let's reach for something. Out of all of the champions, like, if you're a Pike, you can still be useful in a team fight eventually. If Legacy can get fights, they get a pick onto Soda, it's reset after reset, and Paprise may be a useful factor towards the back end of this game, but he's going to be playing into a Renekton. Goes back, BF Sword, and the Ninja Tabi. This is all on Chippy's shoulders right now. It's kind of looking like one of those games you take a look at it and it's AV. How quickly can they snowball this lead?
Absolutely. Let's look at our lanes for a second. So we're focusing top. Now, mid lane here, we've got that kill happening. Oh, is he going to just die again? I know he'll get away. You got a slight CS lead here on Akali and a kill. And then in the bot lane, I'm looking at it, doing some quick math on the CS, about 30 lead there for Avant, or for Legacy, sorry. Is that enough of a lead to really have something to move on in this mid game?
For Legacy?
Is the rest of the map doing sort of okay?
I mean, yes, okay. Like, mid is winning, yes, and Mirror is off roll. You kind of expect that to happen. Chaz is also a very good Akali player. I'm going to hold this thought. 4 versus 2 dive here. Chaz is behind.
Looks like they're just going to try and take the turret. The
They-
turret was taken by Sybil on the other side of the map here. So
Okay.
they kind of let it set up for the dive, but AV backed away, gave him respect, and
Yeah.
didn't really follow up on it.
The fact that that didn't work, super disastrous there for Legacy. They just had to commit to the dive. You've got 4 members down there. 4 versus 2 makes something happen, but they call it off, so yes, it's a 4 versus 2. Numbers advantage is there, but they don't even break the turret. Rift Herald now whacked immediately into mid lane. This turret is basically dead here. 4 platings worth of armor and resistances. Makes it a slow task, but
They'll
Chaz
get
has
there.
to concede. This is...
Can't step forward there with that much health. One cocoon, and you'll get exploded. Elise has a lot of burst damage. She essentially has 6 abilities. She transforms. That is a lot now. We see Sybil rotating down here. The bot lane for Legacy still push forward.
Yeah, and to go back to your point, right? Yes, there is a CS discrepancy there. Sona and the Galio having double support item and the Klepto in the hands of Shock means that, yes, like, despite CS being a bit of a discrepancy, they get that extra little cheeky bit of gold from the passives there. So they're not as far behind as the scoreboard suggests, but the leads elsewhere are just super gross. This is... It's going to be a very tough ask for Paprise to get back into this one. You can see approaching that triple mark here on the top side. That's Flame Horizon is long gone.
I mean, you can pull it back. He's doing better than he was 5 minutes ago.
To pull it back.
Anyway, AV looking to take this Dragon here. We got Legacy coming down.
Well,
it is a weird fight. Smite goes down. Sybil gets it. AV get the Dragon. Fight coming out. Avant on the bot side here looking to do damage. And there comes the Galio in. There's tons of damage going down, but looks like the first two people to fall are the junglers. Crazy's ulted. He's going to back away. Can they escape here? Paprise might get caught out here. He's going forward. Kled coming forward. Paprise is in no man's land. He's jumped on by Kled. He's forced to flash away. They're still chasing, looking to follow up. Flash Taunt comes out. Paprise is caught and he's killed.
And a couple of kills go the way of AV. Dragon taken down once again. You can see pings on towards topside. Chippy's wants straight up access back to his lane. And I'm surprised Legacy went for that one. The TP flank came first from Paprise, but they took the fight. Unfortunately, doesn't go their way. Lose a red buff. Losing their top jungle, and this lead just extending here further for AV.
Yeah, another 1,000 gold to that lead here. They might get this turret here. Looks like not much of a reaction from Legacy. Looks like they're letting this one go. As Paprise does rotate up, he's not going to do anything against this.
Yeah, demolish proc.
On the bot side, though, Akali is trying to take down that turret down there.
Sybil's going to be the one to defend against it. Won't be able to take the 1 versus 1, but with the turret behind him, is able to force Chaz back, at least for the time being. And now the map is completely broken, right? Take a step back. Dragon comes through. Paprise arrives first, but you can see Legacy of half committed to the fight. Kratos, no mana, can't get in, cannot auto-attack. Crazy ultimate comes down a little bit too late, and AV, they just all get into the pit. A single member falls down. It could have been a lot worse than that, and of course Paprise died off the back end, but...
Yeah, that was only a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Actually, looking at that fight, in retrospect, a 2-for-1.
It's not the worst that could have happened.
And they lost Dragon. They lost no turrets. Top lane was defended. So, like, if you're Legacy and you're that far behind and you get a fight like that that's not really going your way, I think they kind of escaped. That could have been a lot worse for them.
Certainly could be the case. As AV definitely forcing this lead even further is on the cards. This is a Legacy going in for something, though. Miro gets demounted.
Oh, wow. And the ult comes out by Guts. They're going to follow up on the turret here, but Miro's not taking much damage.
Oh.
There's Kled. He's following back up. There's the bear trap on a rope. He takes down Guts and Chaz. Is he going to get the 1v2? He's probably going to follow this one up. He still has his mount. He's caught out. There's some backups coming down, but is not needed. 2 versus 1, and he wins the fight.
And AV tread on into the off-season. Import a Korean jungler. First 3 games of the split, he has to play off-roll. Right now he's 1v2ing Legacy. This is just going from bad to worse across the map. It's no longer Paprise that is just mega behind, right?
Yeah.
It's starting to stem elsewhere, and we take a look how it happened. Chaz has already used all of his damage. The burst is already there, and Kled, you know, if you cannot get that execute, the remount will always come through. They split off. Guts tries to, like, disperse himself from Chaz by some distance, so it's not both of them falling down, but unfortunately, that was an Akali trap on a rope, and just gets sliced.
And that is scary. If Avant here, with 2 substitutes, are taking 2 wins out of their 3 games, I am, for one, scared of what they turn up with tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly. Like, I was listening to AV Life this morning, right? Behind the scenes and in interviews, I think it was Chippy's, and he looks at their roster and it's like, man, okay, like, bottom lane got banned, started the split, this sucks. We don't want to start from a 0-3 start.
Yeah.
That's not where you want to be.
That's what you expect when you see subs come in too.
100%, and then coming through to start the year off, or I guess split off. The year's already started with a couple of wins with your roster in shambles. This is...
And this Legacy roster here beat Order last week. So they aren't like an easy team to win, right? This is a decent team. And yeah, last split they didn't do so well. They got a big win last week over Order. And now this league to me is very interesting because it seems like everyone's beating everyone a bit. And in those scenarios, I think there's a real good chance we see some real upsets.
Yeah, because you take a look at the ladder, right? And Legacy Direwolves firmly at the bottom last split. All of a sudden, Direwolves come out. They take a victory over Legacy there. Legacy then beat Order, who made the run all the way to the Grand Finals. Now they're getting literally smacked around by AV substitute roster. Like, what is going on?
I, for one, can't wait for AV versus Order because, you know, maybe Order win that one and make everything all a big question mark, you know?
God, this is some League of Legends. This is... what the hell?
I love the different comps, though. We're getting some unique stuff this week. It's not the same picks here and there. We're getting new comps.
Which is actually kind of surprising, right? Normally, like week to week on the same patch, it's OPL kind of like changes every 2 weeks as you would expect.
Yeah.
Like week 1 and 2, same sort of stuff. Week 3 and 4, maybe it changes up, but this is in that sort of time frame. Guts wants the action.
He goes in. Sibyl's caught out. Tarek is there to follow him up. Praetor's in the back. They're doing a lot of damage. They arrive first. Sona's dead. Looking to follow up. Sybil is caught. He's in the back. He's flying around towards the wrong turret. Crazy's caught at the front, though. Can they peel for Praetor? Can he put damage down? Watch Chippy. He has so much damage. They're just running away from the big crocodile. Praetor's caught by the rope. He's getting pulled in. He's taken out too. And whilst it looked like a great start there by Legacy, Avant are just too far ahead.
It looked like it, but as soon as Chippy's arrives, as soon as Miru gets into the play, they're able to turn this one around. Paprai still wants a piece of the action. He's able to dash away, but cannot stop the turret from falling.
Yeah, we've got Akali pushing down mid here. They're going to keep going for this base. Looks like most of them are peeling off. Chaz might get some damage here, but it doesn't look like he'll take the turret.
Yeah, it's just kind of the consolation prize, the damage in the mid lane. Mountain Dragon is going to start off this game, and AV get 2 of them off the back end of that fight.
Yeah, he's going to make objectives in this game fall very quickly. Baron will be spawning in a few minutes' time, 2 minutes 20 actually. Thank you to the new clocks actually on the top right, makes this a lot easier to do math. And so these objectives here now for Avant are going to be very possible to take very quickly, especially if they can keep vision control of that top side of the map.
Yeah, and it really is the big hurdle for Legacy, right? Like, pre-20 minutes, unless they're breaking every single turret, they're diving Urinas, and like, there are very few games of League of Legends that generally end pre-Baron, right? It's hard to break the base before that point, and this isn't to that extreme, but given that it is now double Mountain, Baron buff is going to be the hard one to contest here, and Legacy, like, do they contest it? Do they want to go for the fight? That looked like a very good fight for them to start. Crazy gets the ulti down early, he gets the double stuns there, and Chaz, Paprise, they got there first before their counterparts, but unfortunately, as soon as the gold deficit arrives at the fight, Chippy's land still 80 CS over his opponent, Miru ultis in from the side. As soon as the numbers do kind of get equalized, you can see it's just an absolute train wreck.
Absolutely. So on the screen, just then comic submissions to Drew Bryce.
Yeah.
I want to call out to that so there'll be a downtime. If you're doing one, put some progress pics up on Twitter. I want to see some going. As we Chaz here get caught out, dodges the hook. Oh, dodges the stun actually. Goes back in. Wow, that's dangerous here. Mirror's here to back him up. Here's Guts as well. They're looking to turn this fight down. Praetor throws heading in. The teams are coming up. Civil, he's so low, he does escape. Guts is flying and he's caught out. He's Zonya's. Everything looks great start. Gets the one execute, but now he's got 4 angry Avant members looking to revenge their team here. Can they get away? Can he get over that wall? Misses the bear trap.
Couple of seconds on the dash.
He
does get him over the wall. And I feel like AV just don't care about Paprise at this point. You can see immediately walking towards the other side of the map. Want to defend their mid lane as Miru gets access to the top side. Sybil was just playing Legacy right there. Gone for the Zonya's first purchase. Kind of baits Chaz in for round number 2. Yes, the upfront burst was there and eventually was able to deny the kill. Kali falls down, does get cleaned up off the back end, but another turret going the way of AV, and time has been ticking away. 20 seconds left before Baron spawns. They have the damage, they have the healing, and...
They got the Mountain Dragons.
Yeah, maybe they just start this one off without a reset.
Maybe. We do see running out of base here, the Legacy team. Pike is going bot, but the rest is sort of sitting around here. This is a very dark area of the map for Legacy. No vision in these brushes, so if they step forward, see Guts here being hesitant. That's because there could and is crocodiles in that brush, but he is going to get away. Them being there means they know they aren't in the Dragon Pit right now, but all it takes is for Avant to go, all right, let's get the Dragon Pit or Baron Pit, and they won't have time to react.
And reminder, Jarvan can check bushes with his standard there, so you saw Chippy's kind of jump out of the bush preemptively, was kind of trying to go before Guts hit him in the face with the E button. That ward is kind of getting a lot of value here for Legacy, but they definitely don't see anything in the pit.
No, the pit has been started here. They're moving over here. They probably have a hunch now that it's up, and you can see it's already down to 75%. Guts is around the area. They can't move forward very quickly. It's too dangerous. Chippies is going to scout for them. but they have no idea this is going on. 4,000 health. They see Chippies, and now they're very concerned. They're looking to pick him off. Now they must know something's going on. Vision Wall goes down. Can they get the pit?
Chippies
What's
is dead.
on the side? Chippies is down to the 5v4. They go in the pit. Baron taken by Sybil. Avant get a Baron, but can they get away? There's a 4v5 here. Chaz in the back has a lot of health. Galio going up and going back. Can they clean up kills here? Chaz here does Zonya's to survive. Miro is put out in the pit, and the rest of the team are going in. Sybil gets taken out. Isles trying to peel for his team, but can't get it. Chuck in the backside is going to be forcing Zonya's out. The rest of the team, this is so close. Everyone's low health. Who can get the kills first? Isles first down. Miro's looking like he's trying to take some people out as well, but he is dead too. It looks like that fight was barren for Avant, but Legacy clean up kills on the backside.
Yeah, Legacy completely flipped the script there. If you can take down the Renekton, there goes almost the entirety of that gold lead. Miro did his best to clean up the backside, but for AV fans, that is not the play you want. Yes, gold lead still heavily in their favor, but Chippies just dies before anything happens, and yes, communication on point, crescendo, means that the Baron is not stolen. And as I was saying before, if you can get the resets there for the Pyke, he can be a useful member. Miro split off from the rest of the AV lineup. Legacy, they do have that standard comp, and Praetor just auto attack after auto attack. They do have the traditional AD carry. The sustained damage certainly is there, and AV, as soon as they don't have the members alive, Shock, yes, is a reasonable threat in his own right, but he wants to be buffing up his allies. Miro eventually falls down.
Ooh.
Takes with him a triple kill, so certainly not for naught, but that is not the look that AV were looking for.
That was a 4 for 3 though.
Yeah.
That looked a lot worse for Avant, but that last kill there, actually, I think it was on the Praetor, or maybe it was Chaz. That one there probably made it, okay, we've got the Baron, we don't lose the game, we don't get that far behind.
In isolation, you look at that play and it's like, okay, yes, we won, but when you start that play with like a 10,000 gold deficit, the biggest Renekton you've ever seen, trading basically anything in this point is definitely going to be a bad time for AV. They do still have that one Baron buff available, of course, so Shock, pretty defensible member, has the Seraphs, has the Zonyas, and has all of the healing and speed boosts he can zoom around with. So if AV want to play a single lane, they certainly can. Chippies, no TP, but mid lane is not too far away, so they are still pressuring the base of Legacy.
They are, of course, and this is the CC that's cannon. They can protect that, but no, the hooks from Pyke actually being quite useful there, actually. It was very funny, actually. They were hiding Shock in the jungle there, not revealing which lane he was going to push. To try and get some extra damage in that turret before they can react, but Legacy were in the area. They didn't really get much there, and this here is going to be a little bit of a back and forth until this Baron buff wears out, or until Shock dies.
I feel like this is going to be a game for AV of just flinging cocoons. If something lands, then yes, you can look for the dive, but elsewhere out of that, it is actually very hard for them to get reasonable damage on the turret. You saw Pyke can rip back the cannon, so the cannon's not going to do the work for you, and once again, they don't have an AD carry. Sona is not mobile enough. She's not a Sivir with a spell shield, so actually auto-attacking the turret for Shock is a very tough ask, and probably will die if he even looks for it.
They have nothing that auto-attacks turrets.
Yeah.
Elisa's does 3 damage on her auto-attack, at least it feels like it.
Yeah. And that's best case scenario, right? He just walked up, that was a single power chord, and that's the wave they've done the most damage so far. So AV kind of just walking between the two right now, crash after crash. Hook is on, but Miro is not the target you want to be looking for.
No, they're trying to fish here for a catch from a mistake from Legacy. The Legacy are playing it smart. They left Chaz in the mid lane. Try and stop this push from Renekton. Renekton can't really go on the turret at this point, not against someone like Akali, who has a lot of ways to get that stealth up and get out of there. He's not going to die in 3 seconds. Dragon is up. They're going to rotate for that. It's a free objective for them right now. There's no vision at all here for Legacy, but it's only a Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, not the biggest prize. And I feel like now is the point you can actually start looking at scaling and have a reasonable discussion that matters, right? Sivir, very good. Akali, very good. Taric, incredibly good in the late game. AV, it's not like they scale poorly, but you would have thought, given the lead that they had, this was a 1 Baron game, right? This was a Baron, this was a break the base, this was end it with a dive underneath the Nexus, and Legacy probably had no decisions to be made there. They could, it was just an indefensible play, but that small misstep around the worm means that AV's kind of momentum, I guess, has stalled out significantly here.
Yeah.
Next Baron is only a minute 40 away, but...
That'll be very important.
Yeah, Legacy, they have held on. Their carries are relatively big. Sivir is big. Chaz is big on the Akali. Paprise, once again, I'll hit on it. He can be useful without gold. if he gets resets given to him, then he can still deal reasonable damage. He's never going to be able to match Chippies in the side lane and will never get priority at any point this game.
No, but they're throwing Chaz against Chippies.
Yeah.
It's kind of the better matchup. Also want to point out that what looks like Avant were trying to do is split push with Nectin here. If he had Baron buff just then, if he wasn't killed, this game is really hard for them to stop that like 2-lane push.
Yeah.
So this next Baron here, it's very important Legacy either deny it or do another cleanup.
Yeah, because you saw Legacy, right? Like walking between mid and top, doable without losing turret damage. Walking between bot and top, because Chippies can throw himself down there with a teleport and a Baron buff, is definitely a different task here. Sybil repelling over the wall, and you can see AV pushing their vision line ever so deeper into the Legacy jungle. Chaz has to respect that one and back away. They have absolutely nothing past the ward on your screen right now. Chippy standing on top of it, knew it was there and calls for the sweeper. So that is the most extensive vision they have. They don't see anything outside of their own base right now.
Their minion creeps are the first vision they have for. They have 2 wards in the map right now. Both of them vision wards, and one of them's in the base, and the other one's just outside the base. You can see him just on his screen right there.
Yeah.
That is all they have. Everything else is hard.
Chaz
Chaz has been called out. At least tons of damage coming out. He's looking to pick that one up. Can Chaz get underneath the tower? He does.
But that is a huge chunk, and the reset is going to have to come through. This is not a member with TP. So Chaz getting back to the play is going to be a bit of a rough decision.
Oh, they're turning on the Baron here. This could be smart. If they do this fast enough, AV are going to be able to kill Baron very quickly with 2 Mountain Dragons, and Legacy can't blindly rush through the jungle without risk of getting killed. TP coming forward, no vision.
This is the Chippy's TP. He's been doing it since the Direwolves days, just hardcore committing to the buff here. Guts is getting in territory. The steal potential is there.
He can. He's the water over the wall. He gets it. There's Chippers over the side. Are they going to burn it down fast enough? 1,000 health left. They do get it. Baron goes to Avant over the wall. Guts is dead. There's 4 left for a Legacy, and they're chasing away. Here comes the Cledol. They're going to chase them down. Legacy getting wiped left and right here as Chippies has been doing tons of damage all game. They're caught. They're dead. They're wiped. And it looks like Avant here are going to pick up a win. Their second win of the split here this game.
Yeah, that is the team fight. That's the Baron, and that is the ace they needed. 30 seconds on the death timers. Very easy walk into the base. Inhibs will be broken, and somehow with subs, with off rolls, they pick up another victory.
They do here. They're going to push down the inhibitor here. We've still got like 20 seconds on most of these members. Guts will respawn. He went for the glory play, trying to take out that Baron. Did fail, unfortunately for him. He's tried it this game twice. The Nexus here is going to go down. Avant running 2 subs, unfortunately for them. But they are going to pick up 2 wins. And this team, when they get their starting roster back, is going to be scary.
And that was a game and a half. And a lot of the talk is, of course, around Paprise on that pike. But the blame cannot solely rest on his shoulders, right? He was left to the wolves there by Guts, just farming across the map. There was absolutely no cries for help that were heeded to. In the top lane 2v2, Sybil and Chippies just dismantling the game from the lineup of Legacy. Paprise and Guts stood no chance. Early lead turned into relatively early victory, and there was a single slip-up, but that game never looked like it was in the hands of Legacy ever.
Yeah, there was that post-Baron fight that I was looking at going, oh, this might be their way back into the game. And then I looked at the golds, and I'm like, it's still 10,000 gold.
Yeah, you lose a team fight, and it's a 10k deficit. That is, that's not one of those games that ultimately you win, right?
But they played it fairly well, right? They weren't getting caught. Like, when you start falling behind those games, you get caught, and then you get caught, and then you get caught. But they weren't getting caught.
Yeah.
They were still playing smart. They were still getting their vision up as best as they could. They just couldn't win a straight-up fight.
Yeah, never in the game. And I feel like you can look to Denian's interview, say that Legacy, they have been working on the fundamentals, right? And you do have to trade in League of Legends, otherwise you get hardcore snowballed on. That game did last 2 Barons. They were able to find that that second play where it didn't really mean much for AV. But unfortunately, that game was lost from like minute 5. Yeah. It's a 5 CS pike to 41 CS Renekton, and then like a 9 CS pike to a 62. Like, that was just... That was a top lane disaster.
When you're a jungler, you sometimes when you gank top lane and they have TP, I do this thing where I hang around. And I'm like, if they TP back and we get another kill, I know the lane is 1 for the whole game. That was worse than that. That was like, keep the minions off the tower. He's not even getting in range for XP, and he's just like, that wasn't like 2 kills. That was 5 minutes of nothing.
This is one of those games where like, as maybe like compare it to solo queue, right? Like you're like a solo queue jungler, and you're like, man, this guy, my top laner, like, oh, he sucks, he's died. Like, oh, if I just leave him on an island, like, what's the worst can happen? This is that game. This is the worst that can happen, and unfortunately, that's a very quick way to lose a game.
It is. Well, to break that one down, let's throw it over to the boys on the couch.
Yay!
Yay.
Well, if it is the last game that some of these AV players play this weekend, and we'll find out tomorrow, it's a good way to go out.
Absolutely. I mean, to give perspective to the viewers at home as well, 2 competitive rulings in AV. Their bottom lane main roster was not available, so we've got not just subs playing, but off roles playing. And to have 2 wins out of potentially 4 games, could go up to 3. That's still an incredible showing from them, and you can't help but be proud of them. And if you were them, so happy.
I love the bait being thrown out there. 2 games, potentially 3.
Yeah,
The subs
I know,
aren't playing tomorrow, Rusty. I'm on to you.
Get it in his head.
He has no idea.
But the thing is like, kind of what Bryce was saying is this game never really got to eventuate, right? So you have a draft where Sona Tarek must be split up right now. It's like just too strong on the current meta. And you get the Sivir Tarek portion of that, which I feel is just so much stronger than the Galio Sona portion of it, if the game goes long enough. But what it gives you is like so much ability to impact early games. Sona's real good at like level 6 alone, and then you got Galio for like that kind of topside support presence. And I feel like Avant are one of the only teams in the whole of the OPL that will opt into that. We need to win this game in 25 minutes, otherwise we're losing the game. And consistently win the games. Everyone else that wins games does it off the back end of really good scaling and puts the other team on a clock. Order, Chiefs, Mammoth, all the good teams do that. Even the Bombers used to do that. But I feel like Avant's confidence in saying, we don't need scaling, we just need a good early game, is really impressive. Was impressive last split and impressive in this game.
All right, fantastic.
I'm just going to agree. That was good.
Just going to
he
agree.
nailed it.
Well, congratulations to Avant. Groot, I'm sorry, but you've got another opportunity for redemption tomorrow, so we'll look forward to seeing you back then. We'll see you guys after this quick break.
If that price dies, he is in trouble. CC. Oh, he might get a lease. Flash away. He does dive after him. Chippy's trying to follow up here. Here's somebody. How did that hit? Through the minions.
There is on the cards. This is a legacy going in for something, though. Miro gets demounted.
Oh, wow. And the ult comes out by Guts. They're going to follow up on the turret here, but Miro's not taking much damage.
Oh.
There's Claire. He's following back up. There's the bear trap on a rope. He takes down Guts and Chaz. Is he going to get the 1v2? He's probably going to follow this one up. He still has his mount. He's caught out. There's some...
In that sort of time frame, Guts wants the action.
He goes in. Sibyl's caught out. Tarek is there to follow him up. Praetor's in the back. They're doing a lot of damage. They arrive first. Sona's dead.
He's
looking to follow up. Sybil is caught. He's in the back. He's flying around towards the wrong turret. Crazy's caught at the front though. Can they peel for Praetor? Can he put damage down? Watch Chippy. He has so much damage. They're just running away from the big crocodile. Praetor's caught by the rope. He's getting pulled in. He picks up on Twitter. I want to see some going. As you Chaz here get caught out. Dodges the hook. Oh, dodges the stun actually. Goes back in. Wow, that's dangerous here. Mirror's here to back him up. Here's Guts as well. They're looking to turn this fight down. Praetor throws heading in. The teams are coming up. Civil, he's so low, he does escape. Guts is flying and he's caught out. He's Zonya's. Everything looks great to start. Gets the one execute, but now he's got 4 angry Avant members. They're concerned. They're looking to pick him off. Now they must know something's going on. Vision Ward goes down. Can they get the pit? What's Guts on the side? Tippis is down to the 5v4. They go in the pit. Baron taken by Civil. Avant get a Baron, but can they get away? There's a 4v5 here. Chaz in the back has a lot of health. Galio going up and going back. Can they clean up kills here? Chaz here. Does Zonya's to survive? Miro is put out in the pit, and the rest of the team are going in. Civil gets taken out. Isles trying to peel for his team, but can't get it. Shock in the backside is going to be forcing Zonya's out. The rest of the team, this is so close. Everyone's low health. Who can get the kills first? Isles first down. Miro's looking like he's trying to take some people out as well, but he is dead too. It looks like that fight was Baron.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added at the grill for more flavour, perfectly melted cheese, and softer buns. They're the best Macca's burgers ever.